Hello there, YouTube. How the hell are you? My name is Vac, and we're here today to talk about, Black Order. We're going to start a new series today of videos that are going to spotlight specific and important teams in the game that I would advocate building, how I build them, why I build them, which way we position them, everything down to the nuts and bolts that we can manage in a 5 to 10 minute video. So let's get started. So to begin with, the best team in the game, are these bad boys right here, the Black Order. I think we're all pretty well aware that these guys are at the top of the food chain right now, and with good reason. With good reason. This is easily the most important team in the game, and if you have the means to get there by whatever means you can, this is what puts you ahead of the meta in Marvel Strike Force right now in the summer of 2020. So first things first, let's talk about positioning. So now there are several schools of thought on this. All of them start with one basic tenet that anybody who knows how to play this game well already knows. Tanks go on the end. Tanks go on the end. And the reason for that is tanks are taunting, tanks are taking all that damage onto themselves, and a lot of opponents will have splash damage. Humans will be compelled to use it occasionally. Computer opponents will certainly use those splash damage abilities against you without hesitation. And the reason that you want your tank on the end is because splash damage abilities will only hit one person as opposed to hitting two, right? So from there, then we know we want Call on one end, and we have him placed out here now. Now from there are two prevailing schools of thought. Number one, you put Thanos right next to Call, and that way he catches all the splash damage. He's fairly tanky himself, and that opens Call up for more counterattacks, retaliatory strikes. And it's not bad that way. It's not bad that way, but I find that to be not my favorite way to go, because you end up with all three of your squishies out there on the left end, and Call does not immediately taunt. So in many Black Order versus Black Order fights, which is what you're really going to be using these guys for in Arena, we'll get to that later, that opens you up for somebody with a Thanos basic to just really wreck the left side of your or whatever side you put all your squishies on. So the next school of thought is you put Corvus Glaive next to Call and let him catch the splash damage. And the reason for that is he's going to be stealthed the majority of the time. The damage is often going to miss him, and he's definitely going to put a halt to any chain attacks. They do not get to go to the rest of your formation, right? And so I think either of those is valid. I prefer this positioning right here because many people go with the same thought I do, and they put Corvus next to Call, but then they put Thanos out here on the end where Maw is to keep him protected and keep him away from as much damage as possible. But what I position myself for is I know that the majority of the time that I'm playing or defending with this team, it's against another Black Order. And so what I don't want to do is bunch all three of my squishies into one place where they can hit them with a Thanos basic and just wreck them, just smash them. So I want to keep that broke up. So with having Call on one end, as the tank should be, and having Thanos in the middle, I give them no place that they can shoot that basic or any splash damage, could be Corvus's or whoever's. They cannot hit three people without hitting one of the two they probably want to avoid, and that's Thanos and Call. So I cut down on their options. They either have to carefully pick out the squishies around Thanos, or they just have to put Thanos into the mix, or Thanos and Call, even worse for them. I don't know why they'd choose that, but and invite retaliatory strikes. So this for me is the optimal setup. It's arguable, and I'll grant you that. But for me, this seems to work out the best. All right, you give the player coming in to attack your arena defense the fewest options possible. And then beyond that, the way I build them, obviously you just want to gear them up as much as possible, and all of mine here are gear tier 14. But abilities. For abilities, really, I would probably start with Maw. And here's my real thing: is max all of these characters. There's nobody in this game that's going to keep you on top of Arena right now better. And if you have the T4s to spend, just max all of these characters, or at least work your way toward that. But if you're trying to be economical, or if you just really just want to know where to start, then I would start with Insidious Whisper. Right, and the main thing that this is doing for you is in applying 2 turns of defense up. When that's pretty big. That's pretty big. 1 turn's nice, 2 turns, awesome. That's usually enough to finish the fight. And then I would probably follow that up with Force Transformation, which it doesn't add any more health steal or any of that stuff to it. It's got all that nice stuff there, but what it does is it does more turn manipulation. And so that's pretty important. I'd probably follow that up by giving Proxima a little love. I would buy Star Throw just to get the offense down, also to be 2 turns, right? And then I would follow that up with Last Light, which for the same reason as Maw's ultimate, speed bar manipulation. Speed bar manipulation, pretty strong. And on top of a team this strong, it's incredible. It's incredible. From there, I'd probably give a little love to Corvus, maybe come over and get Cull Obsidian's ultimate. I fairly well agree with the Orange Essentials page that Casino has up on his Discord about this. But ultimately, I think you should be aiming to get all of these abilities to T4 as best you can. If you're really trying to develop this team and not half-ass it, that's really the way to go, because in Arena, every little bit of damage matters. Every little stitch of everything you can get matters a lot, because the competition is stiff, it's close, and it's the highest stakes in the game. Those cores are more important than any other game mode in this game. Okay, so on that note, let's talk about War really quick. This is a great team in War, right? And you want to use them in War. They'll be a good defense for you. If you put them on your defense, they will certainly give people fits, because on War they'll have to break up a number of good teams to get anything that would be able to beat you, right? And or they'll just have to bring their own Black Order, right? So there's that. It's a very serviceable defense team. I feel like that's not the best way to use them. The best way to use them is to put them on your offense, and they will clear any roadblock in your path reliably. I mean, without fail. So I think that's the best use of them in War. And of course you want to use them there. But this team, it's really all about Arena. That's the name of the game for pretty much everything you're doing in this game. Arena should be your North Star. I say that a lot. And this is the team to get you there right now. Used to be the Black Bolt, yo-yo combinations. No more. These are the guys, right? It's still very offense-centered. There are people who will be able to beat your defense. But if you have a nice, beefy Black Order, particularly if you have high red stars on Thanos, it becomes very difficult for people to manage. And they'll often look for other foes outside of you if you give them the option. So the main fight that you're going to see with these guys is other Black Order, right? Maybe your Arena Shard's a little different, but I guarantee you it will catch up with mine eventually, and that's what you're going to see. So I could show you how this team does against the various combinations of different teams, but it's just going to eat up time and not really teach you anything, because these guys are going to roll through any team out there in this game, and the only one that's going to give them pause is another Black Order. So let me show you the secret for beating a Black Order mirror match. And it really comes down to just a little bit of patience. Simple as that. The main thing you're going to want to do, and this is what it all comes down to here. Now, as you can see, this guy's set up with Thanos next to Cull. And what that does is that opens me up to hit all 3 of his squishies at once. Now, what we're going to do to win this match is we're going to use Thanos' special, the buff flipper, last. If we wait till he does it and then we do it, gives us all the advantages in the fight. It's easy mode. So we're going to open up and just smash his squishies over there for as much damage as possible. Right? See, now he hits 2 of my squishies plus Thanos, which invites some counterattack. Then we're gonna spread around some offense down. Now here I could flip, but that would be a critical mistake. Do not do this. Hang on to this buff flip until he uses his. So what you want to do instead is go right back to that well. Use that basic, smash these squishies. Look how low health they all are already. Now he flips me, and he thinks he's in good shape. He's got all those healths over there. He's regenerating like crazy. They've got my Proxima down. He's feeling good. But I'm gonna flip this right back on him as soon as possible. And even down 3-2 here. This is gonna go my way. And honestly, this is the worst start I think I've seen myself have in ages. Now we've evened up the field. We're actually in head. None of the RNG has really gone our way here. But making sure that you flip last will see you prevail in nearly every outcome. I mean, even on big punch-ups, it will get it done. If you've got nothing but green above your head and they've got nothing but red above theirs, you have every advantage in the world. And all you've got to do is be patient and live through one turn of having all those debuffs until you can get back around and do this again. And we didn't even do that good a job of it this time, right? I lost 2 people during that one turn. That's actually pretty unusual. Usually you can get everybody through. So even in a worst case scenario, we take this pretty easily. And so that's the secret. Flip last. Wait till he flips and flip immediately afterwards. And many times if the speed works out right, you can do that. Just as soon as he's done flipping, you flip it right back. And that's your best path forward. This team will otherwise smash everybody you put in front of them. They don't really have there's not really a need for a whole lot of strategy beyond good positioning and buffing and leveling them up correctly. Other than that, man, that's the one thing you gotta know is flip last. So I hope that's helpful. That'll be pretty much the conclusion of our talk about Blackwater today and the spotlight on their beautiful, beautiful meta. And then we'll get back to it again on another day with another team. So thank you for watching. I hope you found that helpful. My name is Vac, and I'm out of here.